Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hello, guys. Hello. Guys, ready? We are starting today off with XAU USD. XAU USD, yeah. So we are starting today off with XAU USD, right? So XAU USD daily time frame. We've had our break of structure. We are recapping what we did yesterday. We have had our break of structure, it sweep of liquidity, our pullback into a supply zone, and now we are looking for price to take us lower, right? So when we go to the 4-hour time frame, what do you see? 4-hour time frame, this is the internal break of structure, and we seem to be having a pullback into that, right? Now price has reacted from the extreme demand zone over here, as you can see. So that's what gave us the bullish reaction to sweep liquidity over here, and we have also reacted from this 4-hour demand zone over here, and now that seems to also be failing, right? So we will just take trades to continue lower to target the overall low, right? So 4-hour demand zone failing right now. We have this 4-hour demand zone failing. When we go to the 1-hour, you can see it, right? This, I can consider this as a break of structure on this time frame. The internal break of structure, right? Pullback continuation. But looking at the price action, price has swept liquidity above these highs, right? We have given a change of character, created 1-hour demand zone, right? Tapped into it, moved it and swept the high, and now we have also swept the low of that bullish structure, right? We have swept the low of this structure. So now what we are looking at, we have had our pullback phase, right? The pullback phase came all the way to come and sweep the low of the bullish structure, and it's created supply in its formation. So if you are looking to take short, right, we can look to take short from the fair value gap, the supply fair value gap, or the other block. They are all in the same block. So here, all right, you can look to take your entry from here with the stop loss above this high, and your targets being the overall daily low, right? You can look to take this entry. If you are looking for short, you wait for price to come in, wait for a momentum engulfing candlestick, whatever as confirmation, then you can take it all the way low, or you can just set a risk entry like I've done like this. So what you are expecting price to do is for price to come up into the supply and then take us lower, right? Am I recording? Yes. Okay. So that's it for sales. And if you are looking for buys, that means price will just take out the zone over here and then continue with this demand, right? So let's move on to Euro USD. So for Euro USD, we have the same thing over here. Hey, sorry, I said we had the same thing. Price has broken structure to the downside, right? The daily break of structure, right? So after a break of structure, what do you expect? We expect a pullback on that time frame. So the pullback on this time, the daily time frame, is what you're experiencing here, right? So how far do you expect price to pull back? You normally expect price to pull back to the 50% of the range. So you just take your fib2, draw the premium and discount, and then you take the 50%. These are the settings I use: 0, 1, 0.5, right? and you get the 50% of the entire range, the entire break of structure range, right? So we expect price to push back at least to the 50%, right? Which is where um, buyers, sellers will take control, and then we can look to take price lower. Normally we wait for the 50%, right? So we are trading the pullback to the 50% before we continue lower. So daily time frame, 4-hour time frame. So on the 4-hour time frame, you can see we have started a bullish trend, right? Which is the pullback trend. So we are just looking to follow that bullish order flow whilst we are taking out liquidity on the side. So if the market reverses, then we start looking for sales, right? So let's move this to break of structures, their internal structures. So we have had our break of structure. We are waiting for price to push back to the 50% of the range and then continue, right? So I can draw my flip to over here and wait for price to drop to the 50%, right? Now in the 50% you can see we have a demand zone over here, but normally I don't trade from demand zones or supply zones like directly, right? I wait for price to take out the liquidity behind them, because normally many people will just come and then set their entry like this. They'll come and then take an entry and then target, let's say, the next liquidity point, right? And then the market will just come, take them out by a pip, and then just go in their direction, right? That's because there is no liquidity before the demand zone. So before this demand zone, you can see we have no structural liquidity over here. Price just broke structure to the upside, right? But if we have structural liquidity like this, that is when we can look to take out liquidity, right? Then go in our direction, which is what we have here. If you take the overall leg, this is a structural liquidity, right? So I won't just set my entry like this. I'll wait for price to come in, take out this low over here. Okay, take out this low over here, right? Give me confirmation, and then I'll look to trade higher. So EU currently have taken out an old high over here, so I'm expecting that to be the catalyst for price to drop lower, right? 1 hour time frame, nothing much, just what I showed you guys. But if you look at the 1 hour time frame, you can see we also have another structural liquidity over here. So it will be something I'll keep watch if you are going to get the shift from here and then continue. But overall, I'm looking at the low, right? The overall low. So if you get any structure like this, break of structures, I can look to just trade from here and then continue lower into my POI, right? I can look to trade supplies into my POI for today. Nothing much. Nothing much. So yeah, EU price action, nothing much for today. We are just waiting for price to form so that we can take our entries, right? So we are moving on to BTC USD. We are moving on to BTC USD. Wow, price left without funny. Let's delete that. So BTC USD daily time frame, right? We have had our break of structure, right? In the break of structure, what do we have? We have an internal structural leg. So we expect price to come and take out liquidity above the high and then continue lower in this expedition. So over here, price has now, okay, we haven't yet taken out the liquidity above this high. So I still expect price to go higher and take out the liquidity before we start dropping, right? So that's my view on the daily time frame. BTC USD, I'm bearish. I'm bearish on BTC USD. I'm expecting price to drop lower, right? So we move to the 4 hour time frame. 4 hour time frame, we are still in the pullback phase, right? Since the daily broke structure, we have started our pullback, so that's what we are in currently. So we are still in the pullback phase. Over here, we have had our internal break of structure, right? And price is now pulling back. Just like we expect after a break of structure, we expect a pullback, right? So price has booking structure, and now we are currently in our pullback phase. So I'm expecting price to at least pull back to the 50% of the range. This thing is blocking it. Okay. I'm expecting price to at least pull back to the 50% of the range, right? So that we can have our continuation. So 1 hour time frame, you can see there are not really that much POIs for us to trade. Just the shroom POI is what is visible. But we have liquidity points, so after price takes out those liquidity points, right, we can look for a reaction. If we get a reaction that confirms bullishness, then we can look to trade higher. So I'm expecting at least one more push from here to take out this high before we start dropping. It can also just continue after taking out the high, right? We don't really know, but that's the framework I use. So we expect price to come down, take out this low over here, and then continue lower. 15 minutes time frame, I was mapping that out because I had a trade idea. I wanted price to retrace, come into this other block, right, take out this liquidity point and then drop, but it seemed to just continue dropping, and then yeah, it continued dropping, took out some liquidity points, and then the move happened with I'll show you guys in a bit. So you can see we had over here, right, price came to sweep out this high over here, the old structural high, right? It came to take out an old structural high and then started dropping. If I was on my chart around 5:15 a.m., I would have spotted that and taking the trade from there. Immediately, let's see if you got confirmation on the lower time frame. Okay, we didn't get that much confirmation, we just had this, but that showed that the bearishness was there, right? If I was aggressive, I would have taken it immediately. So that's it for BTC. We are looking for price to come and take out this and then see if we get the reaction, right? So we are going to move into some indices space. So I think I'll be looking at NAS 100 for you guys today. My mic is not working. I don't know. Okay, it's not me. I started my stream at 8. Okay. So NAS 100. NAS 100, I'm already in a trade. That's why I want to break that down, right? So NAS 100 daily time frame. What do we have? We have had price retraced. You see, we don't really have structure on this pair. It just keeps going up, up, right? If you bought from here in 2022, you could have just held till now. Like, damn, I wish I knew about trading earlier. I wish I knew about trading earlier, like when I was 16 or something. Okay, but by then you can't really create a brokerage account or anything, so it wouldn't even benefit me in any way. So we have a fair value gap, right? The fair value gap is on the weekly. Yeah. So price retraced into that fair value gap, took out structural liquidity low, right? And then gave off a reaction. So I'm just looking for the reaction to continue all the way to take out the high, right? So we go to the daily time frame. That reaction created a change of character, a market structure shift, right? And we have had our pullback. We have had a second market structure shift over here. Price has swept the low of that market structure shift right over here, and that gave a change of character, right? You don't really. What have I done? There are so many lines. Okay, 4 hour time frame. What do we have? Just like I explained, it's much clearer now on the 4 hour time frame. We have had our change of character over here, right? This is our pullback phase, right? Right. Okay, so actually, if I look at it very well, we are still in the pullback phase. Yeah, that's why I'm selling, right? That's why I'm selling. So we had a break of structure, right? Price has pulled back. We reacted from this first demand over here, right? That gave us a change of character over here. Price decided to react from this supply zone over here and then gave us the next move to the downside, right? So this is not even a liquidity sweep. If I look at it now, it's a break of structure. It's an internal break of structure. It's an internal break of structure. That's why I'm having a bearish bias right now. Price came, took out an old structural high. So this will be liquidity on the 4 hour time frame. I think now I'm seeing things clearly. Initially, I marked it out on my phone. So I think, yeah. So we had a break of an internal, right? Internal structure, right? We had to actually. Price came and took this one out, gave us a market structure shift, you can see, and we pushed back to sweep the high once more. Strong momentum gave us a second market structure shift over here, and then we have had our retracement, and I'm looking to take the trade all the way to this low. Okay, I think it's all the way to this low, but I'm going to be extending my targets now that I know the trend. So I'll be targeting this low over here. I'll be targeting this low over here, and then potentially this as my liquidity point, right? Yeah, so I'll be targeting this low over here, this one over here. So it looks like NAS 100, the internal structure is still in control, right? Until we get a shift in momentum in the order flow, internal structure is still in control. So the sellers are in control right now on NAS 100. So I'm going to be extending my target from 2R all the way to not 4.6, all the way to 5.4R. I could just say 5.5R. Who will know? No one. Okay, so I'll be extending my target all the way to 5.4R, right? We will break even, I think, after we take out my initial targets, right? So let me send this to the community real quick, that we have changed our target, right? NAS 100 sales. I'm sending it to my channel. So target update, right? If you are not in the Telegram, you can DM me and I'll add you to that. I'll be posting. I normally am doing some YouTube stuff, so yeah, I'm trying to build my personal brand, right? So let's continue. I'm done. So yeah, that's it for NAS 100. If you trade indices, that's it for NAS 100. If you have a pair you want me to trade, analyze, you can tell me right now. I'll do that for you. If you have a pair you want to analyze, just tell me. I'll do that for you. I don't think I have. Okay, I have Germante 40. Damn, the trade is full. It's going, it's going, it's going, it's going. Okay, they said traders have to be emotionless, but I'm very emotional. The trade is going, it's going, it's going. You guys, I'm gonna analyze this for you too as well. I'm gonna analyze this for you too as well. Trade is going. Okay, guys, my chart is a bit messy, very messy, messy, messy. I normally do this when, yeah, when I want to solidify my idea. I just write it down on the chart so that I don't forget the reason why I'm in a trade or set a limit order or something. So daily time frame we have had, what was this? Daily time frame we have had a break of structure, right? We have had our market structure shift over here, and then we had a bullish trend continuing up, right? Now we have taken the overall high, right? And price decided to immediately reject after taking out the overall high. So after we took out the overall high, this is our internal structure, right? I trade normally, there's something I trade called I trade photon concept. So there's something called phases, right? We have phase A, phase B, phase A2, phase C, and phase D. So what the current phase we are in right now is called phase A2, right? Which is after a break of structure. After a break of structure, right? The price can just continue from the internal structure, right? And keep on making higher highs. That's phase A2, right? And if we have a structure shift, right? If you have a structure shift, that's phase B, right? So if the structure shifts, we have phase B. And then if you have a continuation, the pullback phase, right? The pullback phase is called phase C, right? It's called phase C. And if you have a structure shift again, that's phase B. So pullback phase is phase C, structure shift is phase B, right? Continuation phase is phase A, right? And after we have the break of structure of the high, if price continues, that's phase A2, right? So from that idea, we have had a break of structure, but the internal structure is still holding. So this will be regarded as phase A2 if price reacts from this demand or liquidity and then starts continue higher, right? So over here, what do we have? We have our structural liquidity over here, right? We have our structural liquidity over here. Now price is trading lower into that. So my overall idea was just to trade to target the structural low, right? Because I don't know if this is going to continue the trend or we are going to get a change of character, which I've written over here, right? Man, I'm tired today. I didn't even have that much rest. Spent all night watching Avatar Last Airbender movie. Oh god, life of a trader. So yeah, I think what formulated my idea was from the daily time frame. We had our fair value gap over here. H1 fair value gap. Oh, what am I doing? What's this? This is not my fair value gap. Hello? Huh? Just vanished. Let's just use this one. So price retraced into a fair value gap, right? On the 4-hour time frame, we swept liquidity above structure into the fair value gap, right? Which makes that valid. And we had momentum coming out of that. Reacted from internal demand, right? And that demand gave off a reaction and is failing, right? Because we are expecting bearishness. This is a bearish fair value gap. We have swept liquidity into that. We have had momentum out of it. So ideally, I was just looking for short, right? Because we're already in a bearish trend and we have swept liquidity above the high. So when you drop down to the 1 hour time frame, right, I think you can see it clearly. Price reacted from this demand zone, not really clear, hidden block, right, and gave off a break of structure. So after the break of structure, we had liquidity, we had supply zone over here, right, and I waited for price to range. I just set my order actually. I just set my limit order, and that's why I was even shocked when I came in. The trade was already running, right? Price swept liquidity above this high. It ranged a bit throughout the night, and right, it ranged accumulation, manipulation, distribution, right? So I'll be looking to just take break even. Okay, price has already taken the low, so I think I'll be setting my break even now. Because if price is to retrace all the way here, I don't think my trade idea will be valid. It has to retrace to at least this supply zone over here. So yeah, I'm looking to target the liquidity point, right? The structural liquidity we had on the higher time frame. I'm looking to target the structural liquidity. That's my target over here. So this trade is going for 7R. So yeah, I'm looking for that to play out. I'm waiting for that to play out. So that's it for GMR 40. I think that's it for DAX. I think I'm done. I'm not going to be doing anything on UJ or GJ. Nah, I'm not going to be doing anything on those pairs. They are even annoying me right now. I'm just going to delete them. I'm not going to be doing anything on those pairs. So we are done for today's session. This is the trade idea we have for gold. We are looking for sales today, right? We are looking for price to come up and then take it lower. For EU, we are waiting for a break of structure, right? And then we can look to continue trading sales. For BTC USD, same idea. We are looking for price to come and take out this low over here, give us our change of character, and then continue higher, right? For NAS 100, we are already in a sell trade. We are looking for price. We are looking to take price lower to take out liquidity points, right? Since we are in a bearish trend and we have already swept liquidity above a high. For GMR 40, we are in a trade already. So yeah, it's been 28 minutes. I think I'm going to be ending our session over here. If you have any questions, you can ask. If not, I'll be ending the session over here. Any questions, please? Any questions? Okay, I don't really see anyone typing, so seems there's no question. If you have a question, you can ask. Okay, someone is typing. The session was nice. Oh, thank you. Thank you. So we're having our next session on Monday, 2 o'clock, right? So if you want, you can join. Monday, 2 o'clock. Oh, sorry. You guys, your session, your timing is different. Monday, 2 o'clock is in GMT, right? In my time. So you can just convert that to your time, right? Monday is 2 o'clock. Yeah, I'm bearish on gold. Monday, you can write it down. Monday, the time is 2 o'clock. Tuesday, the time is 2 o'clock. Yeah, Tuesday too. I think it's 2 o'clock. Wednesday is 8 a.m. Thursday is 8 a.m. Tomorrow, Friday, no session, no live session. So Monday 2 o'clock, Tuesday 2 o'clock, Wednesday 8 o'clock, Thursday 8 o'clock, Friday no session. But Saturday and Sunday maybe I might do a session weekly like review or something. Yeah, I'm bearish on gold. I can just show you that quickly. Gold, right? We are already bearish. We have had bearish structure, right? This is just internal structure that has shifted bullish. It's just to trap traders, right? So I'm just looking for price to come in to my fair value gap order block, then take it down. Because overall on the daily time frame, the trend is bearish. The trend on the daily time frame is bearish. So why would you trade against the higher time frame trend, right? You don't have to be trading against the higher time frame trend. So I'm bearish on gold. If price retraces here, I'll just be taking a risk entry for 6.3 hour. Trust me, it's going to play out. I know it's going to play out. If you want to join my Telegram, you can just DM me. I'll add you, right? Thank you. I was too bare, and after joining your session, I became confident. Thank you. You're welcome. So you can follow my journey on YouTube at Davy_SMC. If you want, you can DM me. I'll send you the link. You can follow my journey on YouTube. I'll be posting some of these sessions over there, right? Okay. So thanks for watching. Send me link. Sure. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one, Monday, or maybe during the weekend, right? Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.